Send me a few pictures, and most sections seemed to be filled. It wasn't a sellout, but there was supposedly over 19,000 people in attendance. Of course, it's easier to draw a decent crowd when tickets are selling for $3 hours before the games.
Angel Reese tickets just hit $2, yes, cheaper than a gas station hot dog, and fans are asking if they also come with a refund after a performance so shocking it made referees check their glasses twice. The stands are emptier than your ex's promises. What happened? Why is the internet roasting her like it's Thanksgiving? Stick around, because this story is juicier than a TMZ meltdown and funnier than her shooting percentage last night. Let's get into it.
WNBA, they're having troubles with tickets now because I think Caitlin Clark is out for what? How many weeks is she out? She's ruled out for the June 7th game. That's when she was supposed to meet up with Angel Reese again and Chicago Sky, and there's a massive drop in ticket sales. This is after the take foul that she had on Reese and ended with a shove, and she got a flagrant foul, and they gave Reese and the other chick a foul. And I don't know, I guess she has a left quad strain and she's going to miss
at least 4 games is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, $3 to see a professional basketball game. $3. You can't even buy a sad vending machine sandwich with that kind of change, but you can apparently watch Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky play live in an NBA-sized arena now. I'm not saying it's a bad deal technically, it's cheaper than watching high school JV ball, but if someone handed me $3 and said pick Sky tickets or a gas station hot dog, I'd be halfway through that greasy questionable meat stick before they could say rebound. Percentage.
Reese and selling tickets and people watching her play is a lie. It's been proven time and time again, and it's been once again proven in a very embarrassing fashion for Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, as Indiana travels to Chicago tonight at 8 o'clock start to take on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, and they're playing without Caitlin Clark. Apparently now Stephanie White will not be at the game. I'm not even doing a video on that. I see a whole bunch of stuff being on that. I couldn't.
And here's the twist, there were 19,000 fans in the building. That's not a typo. That sounds great, right? Like a slam dunk for the WNBA, a huge W for women's basketball, until you realize why they were there. They weren't showing up in droves to see the Sky. They were there for the opposing team, because the Sky happened to be playing the Indiana Fever. You know, the team with Caitlin. Every camera is on me, Clark, who basically carries the league's marketing budget on her back like it's a fanny pack.
The tickets to get into this building have completely plummeted. It's hitting levels of Miami Marlins baseball games. And for those of you who don't know, I could get a ticket for a Miami Marlins baseball game to sit like row 3 for like $5. That's how bad it is for Miami Marlins.
Also, yes, 19,000 people showed up, but let's not kid ourselves. That wasn't a Chicago Sky fan base. That was a traveling Caitlin Clark cult on a Midwestern pilgrimage, and even then Chicago still had to drop prices to levels not seen since Blockbuster rental days just to get people in the building. Imagine hosting a party at your own house, and all your guests only came to see your more popular neighbor, and then you still had to pay them to show up.
Really dead serious when I say this. I'm beating a lot of them, but I'm burying Angel Reese one-on-one. And I'm a big WNBA fan.
She's just big. She's not even good.
She's listed at 6'3". That means she's 6'1". I'm forcing her left, forcing her right. I don't know if she even knows what hand she...
Shooting efficiency list. Unfortunately for Angel Reese, she's dead ass last. And I'm not kidding you. In this list of...
The Sky tickets are $3. That's not just embarrassing, that's historic. That someone put this in a museum so our grandkids know how bad things got embarrassing. Like, at this point the team should consider throwing in a free tucker with every seat just to sweeten the deal. And to make matters worse, you could bring your whole family of 5 to the game for $15 zero and still have enough leftover change to buy some nachos and question your life decisions. But the real kicker is Angel Reese herself. Look. We've all heard the hype, the swagger, the Bayou Barbie branding, the $1 million nil deals, the TikTok dances, but at what point does it translate into actually wanting to play basketball? Because that's the part that's looking a little fuzzy right now. This isn't shade, this is a full-blown solar eclipse. Angel Reese doesn't look like she wants to be on that court half the time. She's jogging around like someone told her cardio was optional. Her body language screams, "Is this over yet?" More than it screams Mamba mentality, and every time someone brings up her struggles, her fans leap to her defense like she's a fragile Fabra egg instead of a professional athlete. At this point, you can't criticize her game without getting jumped by a squad of Instagram defenders using astrology signs as legal arguments.
Is your star? This is who the media claims is elevating the WNBA. This is who the media has spent the last year wasting time trying to convince us that Angel Reese is responsible for elevating the dump? The same Angel Reese that could not sell out home games when she was at LSU. The same Angel Reese that struggled to sell tickets last year with the Chicago Bravado. The same Angel Reese that could not give away free tickets to her immaculate homecoming a couple of weeks ago at LSU.
Yes, there's a learning curve, but when your team's ticket prices drop lower than a thrift store clearance rack and people would rather eat microwaved gas station beef than watch your team play, maybe it's time for a little self-reflection, because basketball, for all its glitz and shoe deals, still requires the tiniest shred of effort, and right now Ree is giving off big "I'm just here so I won't get fined" energy, and the funniest part, every time Angel steps on the court, the internet turns into a civil war reenactment. You've got half the people ready to knight her as the future face of the league, and the other half writing eulogies for her stat lines. It's chaos, it's content, it's reality TV and sneakers. Those same seats become wide open plains of regret and popcorn spills. Let's be brutally honest here. If you're a young WNBA player and your home game tickets are being sold for less than a Starbucks cake pop, you are officially in the danger zone. Like emergency meeting with your PR team, we need to fake an injury kind of danger zone. The league's not going to market you if the only way they can fill an arena is by luring in fans of the other team with pocket change and sheer pity.
So Angel Reese came out and had a 12 rebound, 4.2 assist game in the absence of Caitlin Clark tonight. Angel, they're not coming for you. They're coming to watch the prodigal son or daughter, Caitlin Clark. So as the Indiana Fever beat the Chicago Sky by 29 points without Caitlin Clark, I asked the EBT community, do y'all have eyes? Like, these two players have nothing.
But don't worry, Angel still has her diodes, you know, the ones who insist that she brings more than just stats, which is great. Let's put that on a t-shirt. 0 points, 2 rebounds, unlimited vibes, iconic, legendary, inspiring, and completely useless when the scoreboard is flashing an L the size of Lake Michigan. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's over there stacking triple doubles and casually turning every WNBA game into a telly. ESPN is practically turning into the Caitlin Clark channel, and fans are loving it. Meanwhile, Angel's contribution to the cultural moment is getting boxed out and retweeting shade from the bench. Now don't get it twisted, Angel Ree can play. She's got size instincts and the kind of presence that makes Media XX drool. Reese's stat line looked like it was written in invisible ink. If you blinked, you missed her contribution. She was out there blending into the hardwood like a decorative floorboard. Meanwhile, her defenders are online acting like anyone who brings it up is committing a federal offense. At some point, we have to stop pretending like branding is a substitute for production. Being the moment only lasts so long before people start asking what you're actually doing in the moment, because $3 tickets, that's not people rooting against you, that's the free market quietly whispering, we're good. You know it's bad when people in the stadium are spending more time filming TikTok than watching the game. You can hear entire conversations echoing through the arena because nobody's clapping unless Caitlin Clark touches the ball. It's like watching a concert where only the opening act shows up and the headliner forgot their MIC and lost their voice. The WNBA's been begging for attention for decades, and now that the spotlight's finally here, you've got Angel Reese walking around like she's in a different genre, like someone told her she accidentally signed up for a modeling agency instead of a basketball team. A hustle play, a fast break that doesn't look like a reluctant jog, a little heart. Maybe is that too much? Because right now the only fast movement we're seeing is fans sprinting for the exits by halftime.
Reese has a monster motor, and she'll gobble up double-doubles just off effort. But what I really like to see is her putting in work on her jumper, because Barbie getting buckets is going to be a real problem.
Meanwhile, the league's trying to pump up this so-called rivalry between Reese and Clark like it's Ully vs. Frazier, when it's feeling more like Frazier vs. One's making headlines for shattering records, the other for silently updating her Instagram story from the bench. And don't forget, this was the home crowd. If you can't win over your own city when the league's most popular player is standing right next to you, maybe it's time to switch to motivational speaking or take up curling. So yes, $3 to watch Angel Ree live is technically a bargain, but let's be honest, until she actually starts acting like she wants to hoop a gas station hot dog is the better investment. At least that thing has some heat, and somehow it still felt overpriced. People showed up expecting the Bayou Barbie to give them a show, but what they got instead was the basketball equivalent of a loading screen for 3 entire quarters. Angel Reese was more like an NPC wandering around the court waiting for someone to assign her a side quest. When she finally put up her 4th point, the crowd erupted, not in applause, but in collective confusion, like, wait, that was her first basket.
Talking about as a podcaster, I'm not talking about at the Met Gala. She needs to be a better player if we want this rivalry to be able to have some staying power. She had a very, very busy offseason, but at this moment, it does not seem like the offseason a lot of Mikan drills of left-handed layups. Right now, Angel Reese, she is a wildly famous rebounder. Somebody had the funniest tweet on this. The Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry is like if Kobe had a rivalry with Marcel